Welcome to my presentation, where I will analyze intercultural communication in the film Black Panther. This Marvel blockbuster provided a rich lens for exploring cultural identity, communication styles, stereotypes, and power dynamics. By focusing on Wakanda and its interaction, we will deconstruct key intercultural themes and their impact on communication. Black Panther is set in Wakanda, a technologically advanced African nation hidden from the world. The story revolves around T'Challa, who becomes king after his father's death. It explores Wakanda isolationism, its encounter with the outside world, and the complex relationship between tradition and modernization. Wakanda is rooted in African tradition, with strong emphasis on cultural pride, heritage, and advanced technology. Its cultural identity is portrayed as unapologetically African, rejecting colonial narrative. Vibranium, the nation's most valuable resource, symbolizes the intersection of tradition and innovation in Wakanda. T'Challa's story is a negotiation of his cultural identity. As king, he must balance Wakanda's tradition with its emerging role on the global stage. His journey illustrates the challenge of cultural adaptation and the responsibility of honoring the past while leading the future. Killmonger, T'Challa's cousin, was raised in America, disconnected from Wakandan tradition. His cultural shock upon entering Wakanda reflects his alienation and resentment. The struggle underscores the impact of diaspora and the complexities of belonging to multiple cultural spaces. In Wakanda, verbal communication is formal, respectful, and rooted in tradition. Non-verbal communication, such as the challenge ritual and the Wakandan salute, reflect cultural norms. These styles often clash with Killmonger, direct and confrontational American style, creating tension. Miscommunication occurs when Killmonger demands the throne. Wakandans interpret his action as aggression, but from his perspective, it's about justice and reclaiming heritage. This misunderstanding escalates into conflict, highlighting the consequence of failing to bridge cultural gaps. Wakanda reflects high power disdains with respect for monarchy and clear hierarchical roles. T'Challa embodies the value, while Killmonger challenges it with Western, low power distance ideals. Their conflict highlights differences in authority and governance. Wakanda values collectivism, prioritizing the community and the tradition. Killmonger, influenced by individualist American culture, focused on personal revenge and self-determination. This clash reveals the tension between community-oriented and self-centered worldviews. The film challenges stereotypes by portraying Wakanda as an advanced African civilization, countering narrative of Africa as underdeveloped. However, Killmonger portrayal as violent and angry risks perpetuating the angry black man stereotype, complicating the narrative. Wakanda isolation is rooted in protecting its culture and resource. However, this cultural context creates barriers to intercultural understanding. T'Challa's eventual decision to open Wakanda challenge this isolation, fostering global dialogue. Killmonger rise to power disrupt Wakanda's traditional hierarchy. His aggressive approach contrasts with T'Challa's collaborative leadership. The shifting power dynamics emphasize how authority shapes intercultural communication and influence societal outcomes. Killmonger's perspective is shaped by his American upbringing, while Wakandan view him as an outsider. Nakia's push for global outreach is also misinterpreted as betrayal. This misunderstanding reveals the need for empathy and open communication. By the end, T'Challa acknowledged Killmonger's valid point about oppression and exclusion. This resolution represents a step toward reconciliation and intercultural understanding. The creation of Outreach Center signal the beginning of global collaboration. The initial failure to address Killmonger grievance resulted in violence and division. However, T'Challa's willingness to adapt fostered unity. This demonstrates how successful intercultural communication can prevent conflict and lead to positive outcomes. A key solution is open dialogue. If the Chala and Killmonger had communicated earlier, they might have found common ground. Active listening and empathy are essential tools for overcoming cultural differences and resolving conflict effectively. Cultural exchange could foster mutual understanding. Wakanda sharing its technology and tradition with the world earlier might have reduced cultural isolation. Programs like the Outline Outreach Center illustrate how bridging gaps benefits all parties. Character like Killmonger need support in reconciling dual cultural identities. Recognizing both Wakandan heritage and his American upbringing could help heal his personal conflict. Identity reconciliation fosters stronger, more inclusive communication. The film shows us that intercultural communication requires understanding, respect, and flexibility. It challenges us to think about how cultural identity, power dynamics, and communication styles impact our interaction in a globalized world. In conclusion, Black Panther teaches us the importance of dialogue and inclusion. By embracing intercultural communication, we can create a more harmonious and collaborative future.